What's going on, Kings? It's Keefe. I've talked a lot about the benefits of NoFap on this channel, as you probably already know. But in this video, I want to talk to you about some of the BS that is out there when it comes to NoFap. You see, NoFap is kind of like religion. It's this great thing, but then you've got these people who take it way too far, who are banging on your door, trying to have a 45-minute conversation about you to convert you to their religion, and they're just taking it way too far. So what I'm going to do in this video is give you the God's honest truth about NoFap, the truth as far as the benefits and as far as the lies that are out there. I'm going to expose them because it's really important to understand what the BS is, because if you've got unrealistic expectations when you do this kind of thing, you're going to get disappointed, you're going to quit, and then you're not going to get the benefits that are real and are very important in order to develop as a man. What we're going to do now is dive into 4 benefits of NoFap and 4 lies about NoFap. Now let's get started. So the big lie number 1, the one that I hear the most, is this idea that women are just attracted to you because you're on NoFap. Like, they can sense it and they can smell it. There's this thing to do with like pheromones and shit, but this is total BS. Guys, when I talk about NoFap, I try to bring some evidence behind the reasoning for the benefits that I explain, rather than just throw something out. And for me personally, I've never seen any evidence from myself or from anybody else that I've spoken with, coached, that would make me think that somehow just being on NoFap magically makes women just suddenly crazy attracted to you. This actually just makes no sense. Women are actually hardwired to be attracted to the guy that other women find attractive, and the guy that other women find attractive is probably sleeping with women. So this idea that because you're not fapping off, suddenly women can just tell that you're this guy they need to go have sex with just makes no sense. I've even heard this suggestion basically that if you have sex with a woman, it's like this different like chemical emission that comes out of you as opposed to doing it with your phone, and that just makes no sense either. It definitely changes your brain chemistry, but all you're doing is changing your brain's understanding of what it's supposed to be attracted to. It doesn't like, it's not like your brain's like, ooh, this is different, like let's shoot out different hormones or something like that. It's the same experience though. So it's not like women are like, I smell someone who had sex with a woman and I smell someone who watched porn. It's like they can't do that. Like, that's absurd. Now, I have talked about the fact that NoFap does make you more attractive to women, and I'll put a video explaining how that works in the description box below so you can watch it after this video. But if you've seen that video already, you'll know that it has nothing to do with direct attraction as a result of NoFap. It has everything to do with the fact that you start leveling up as a man, and women like a man who's got his crap together. Now, real benefit number 1 is that your self-esteem rises. See, most guys actually don't feel great about the fact that they're fapping off. It's not something that they're proud of, that they walk around with like t-shirts saying, yeah, I do this and stuff like that. We all know that. And because of that, if you're doing something that makes you feel like less of a man and makes you feel less confident, you can't expect that in doing it, your self-esteem is just going to skyrocket through the roof. It's just not going to happen. When you stop doing this altogether, it permeates in your life. What you'll see is that your self-respect goes through the roof. And in going through the roof in one area of your life, you'll start to improve yourself in other areas of your life, because you'll start to see yourself as that kind of guy who can really become a better version of yourself. So your self-esteem starts to rise. You have become more empowered as a man. Self-esteem is basically self-empowerment. When you understand that you have the power to make change in your life, and you're actually going out and doing that and making your life better, of course you're going to feel good about yourself. So when you do this, watch how your self-respect and your self-esteem rises. I've done fitness coaching in the past, and every time that I watch some guy make a serious change on his body, it's like not long after that, suddenly he's getting better results with girls. He's getting better results with his money. He's just leveling the fuck up because he leveled this one thing up, and now he's like, okay, I can actually become like the best version of myself. I can seriously become this version of myself that I've always wanted to be. It's within my power. It's because I started with one thing and I took control over that one thing. So if you establish self-control and give yourself that self-esteem boost in this area, watch how your self-esteem goes crazy in every area of your life. Now, lie number 2 is that doing NoFap makes the law of attraction stronger. This is actually a botched interpretation of something that Napoleon Hill talked about. And Napoleon Hill was the author of Think and Grow Rich, and he had a chapter in the book on sex transmutation. And what sex transmutation actually is not that your vibration goes through the roof because you held your nut in and just like shit's just like magically coming towards you and stuff. It's all about the fact that you've learned how to channel that energy into something other than just nutting. Okay, and so basically transmutation of the sexual energy, which also is a video I've made. You can click the link in the description box for that one as well. But basically what it really is you get the energy within your body and you use it for something constructive. All Napoleon Hill says is that basically you can take this energy and channel it into productive means that make you a lot better. I mean, think about how motivated you are to really like do your best when a woman's watching. If you've ever been in a sport, or if you're like trying to impress a girl, like you're always wanting to like look your best when this woman's around. So that is the idea of sex transmutation, is the fact that this sexual desire, this desire to be attractive to women, can be channeled into something that can make you a better version of yourself. It has nothing to do with like chakra systems and like your vibe going through the roof and stuff like that. I'm not personally a believer in that shit in general, and I can tell you personally from doing NoFap for a long time that it's not like I'm just like walking outside and like winning lottery tickets and stuff because my vibe's just through the roof and I'm seeing through walls and all this stuff. It just makes no sense. Basically what sex transmutation is the ability to use this energy to create effective results in your life. It is not a magic trick. Now, benefit number 2 is better sexual function. This is like the most unspoken thing in our society, is this like mass epidemic of young men struggling sexually. It's like that should not be happening, and the biggest culprit is internet porn. Even if you are still able to have real sex and it's not actually affected your ability to have sex, it is affecting your experience of it. So by stopping fapping off, and in particular stopping watching porn, you're giving your brain this opportunity to rewire itself and to go back to its natural state. And this is going to cause you to have better sexual experiences. If you couldn't have good sexual function, you're going to start to get that back. So this is like a massive benefit. This alone should be reason to do this practice. And when you do this, and when you get this area of your life in a place where it's under control and you're actually like enjoying and experiencing it, and your confidence is rising as a result, it's just like with number 1 that I mentioned, with your self-esteem rising. It's going to be the same thing. Your life is going to change in so many ways because you got this one area to become great. And because of that, it permeates into every area of your life. Lie number 3 about NoFap is that it doesn't get easier. There's this idea out there that you're basically going to spend your life like wrestling with your sex drive every day, the same way you were probably like the second day you ever tried to do this. And that's BS. Like, nobody would be able to do that. I've made a video talking about how I've been doing this for a little over 4 years at this point. And I can tell you, if I was fighting myself every single day, I would not have made it that long at all. And really what happens is you learn to develop self-control, and it actually gets a lot easier as you go on. It's like way harder when you're first trying to control something. It's kind of like with if you've ever tried to quit smoking or some other compulsive behavior of yours. It's like once you've kind of gotten under control and you've disciplined it, it gets easier and easier. And when the impulse comes up, it's easier to control. So it's very similar to that. And then it's also similar to the idea of basically you've got all this energy coming up, and it's kind of like with anger. It's like if you learn to channel your anger and you learn to not be controlled by it, it's the same thing. It's an energy in your body that you're experiencing. And over time, you just learn how to handle it. Now, the reason people don't understand this, like most people don't even understand the idea of controlling their sex drive. That makes no sense to them. They don't even think they should control it. They don't want to control it because they're enjoying the compulsive pleasure of it, which I get that. But I would say that like people don't even understand this as a concept because about 90% of the population probably has absolutely no control over their sex drive. Their idea of self-control when it comes to sex is like not whipping their dicks out in public, basically. And so that's why most people don't even understand this as an idea. And so they think they're just gonna have to spend their whole life fighting their sex drive, and that's not how it goes. And then I'd say about 5% of the population has learned that they can have a little bit of self-restraint when it comes to this area of their life. And then there's that 5% of people who have actually really got this area of their life to a place where it is pretty much under their conscious control and they have self-control. And it doesn't mean that you can't indulge in it and enjoy it and things like that. It just means that it's not something that grips you and makes you its slave. The 4th lie of NoFap is glowing eyes. I really don't think this one needs all that much explanation, but I saw this on Reddit when I was looking for all these crazy things people think about NoFap, and there people were talking about your eyes are glowing and it's so obvious that you're on it, all this stuff. And like, go back and look at a picture of your dad or your grandfather in like the 1970s or something before internet porn came along and tell me if his eyes are glowing. Like, this is not a hard one to debunk. This is like the flat earth theory or something. This shit is so obvious. I don't know why people would actually believe this, and I really don't even waste my time on this one. The 4th real benefit to NoFap is ambition, and you increase in your ambition. In order to have ambition, you must first have agency over your life. Because if you believe that you're a victim, then there's no purpose to having ambition. So basically what happens when you get on NoFap is you're giving yourself agency. And if you give yourself agency, you give yourself ambition, because you look and say, okay, I took control of this area of my life. I'm not a victim. And like I've been talking about with other benefits of NoFap, basically this permeates into every area of your life. And you're like, if I can take control of this area of my life and I have agency over it, maybe I do have agency over my diet. Maybe I'm not big fucking boned. Maybe I'm actually just eating bad and I could do something about that. Maybe I do have agency over that. Maybe I have agency over the amount of money I make. And so your ambition starts to go up, because if you realize you have power in one area, it trickles to everything. Because we all want to be the best versions of ourselves. We just deny it to ourselves and play the victim because we think it's too hard. But when you realize, like, oh my God, like I could actually do this, you're gonna start going for it hardcore and your ambition goes through the roof. At the end of the day, your life is a collection of thoughts and actions. So if you look around at where you're at right now, it is a result of the way you've been thinking and the way you've been acting. So take a look around and what do you see? Now, what happens when you get on NoFap is you are changing your thoughts. You are deciding to be disciplined over something, and your actions are obviously changing. That's going to have that ripple effect over your life. Obviously, we've mentioned ambition, but even the more like finite point to this is when you start changing the way you think, you have to like kind of come into alignment with this new version of yourself you're becoming. You've decided, I'm going to be ambitious. I'm going to have agency. I'm going to take control and be disciplined. Now you look around and things you didn't even notice, you start to notice. You start to notice how your room's always been a wreck, or how you've like kind of numbed yourself out to the fact that you hate what you see when you look in the mirror, or that you're always in debt. You numbed yourself out to these things, but now you can't numb yourself out because you've changed the way you've thought and you've gone up to a new level and you're trying to become a better version of yourself. And so everything starts to change and the like floor of your life basically raises. The standard for yourself goes up. Hey guys, if you got something out of this video, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.